Today's just going to be a quick overview on Bias Effects Desktop Professional in this case, because the Professional is the only one that supports MIDI control. And I could not find any other videos on YouTube or anywhere else in the world for that matter that spoke about the synergy of the iRig Blueboard by IK Multimedia and Bias Effects from Positive Grid. There's a lot of talk of how it works with the iPad version of like Amplitude and Jam Up Pro and Bias Effects, but out of the box, everything actually works perfect. You hold down on these buttons to change your banks or your sets of banks within your preset in rows of 4. And whatever you put in 1 will be A, 2, 3, etc. Pretty straightforward. But on a MacBook, as you can see here, what is really interesting is when it comes to changing patches, presets if we want to get technical. We call them presets. So if we take a look at my screen here, I just started with a clean custom. And if we go to edit, the only way I was able to get it to work was to put it on 0. Because with the iRig Blueboard, that's actually 0. I know you're seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, but I'm telling you, it's actually, if you see the mouse, 0, 1, 2, 3. So anything I do, if I want to go to, the 57th patch or preset, it's actually 56. Anyhow, I've set this to 0, and I've set this one here to 1. Now, I'm going to physically hit it. You'll be able to see it on the screen where the A is lit up. And if you look, actually I'll do it with my mouse, A, and if we look here, clean custom. Now I'm going to hold down, or tap on B, sorry. Now, as you can see, it switched to distortion and it went to B, because it just works. The problem is, if I want to switch banks and I hold down on, I think it's the A. Notice how with the mouse here it went to bank 2. But it didn't actually change my actual bank within Bias Effects. I have to go to Paul Wardingham, and as you can see here, I've numbered them so that I know that this is bank 1, this is bank 2. Now if I go on it and I tap A, it's on that one. I tap B, it changes. So, in other words, if I want to change banks, I not only have to change it up here in Bias Effects, I also have to change it on the Blueboard app. So if I wanted something on, bank 37, as you can see here, I would have to click really fast, and then I would have to come here. Let's say if I did have a 37th bank, somewhere down below. Actually, it's 32, the maximum. But let's not get too technical. So that's a little bit kind of screwed up, because on iPad, if I change the bank, no matter what I do, no matter what patch I pick, no matter what bank I pick, it would help if I used the proper terminology. These are all banks. If I click on a bank, no matter what, on iPad, it would know that this is the first preset of the bank, the second, the third, the fourth, no matter what bank I'm on. So basically, my overview in this video is that it does work, but to the best of my knowledge, using the iRig Blueboard with Bias Effects Professional, because you need the MIDI support, when you're switching banks, you'll have to manually switch your bank in Bias Effects and then come here. Now, I'm going to show you the settings here because there's going to be some people out there that know a lot more than I do about this stuff. First of all, it's on program change, because I think control change means you'll be switching on and off different pedals. Allow bank change, again, like we've seen when I hold hard press on. It'll change banks. See how it lit up? It signifies that it changed banks. Now if I tap on it, it'll switch presets. Everything else is off, well, except for iRig Blue Light. That's just a backlight, and that's pretty much all the options that are there. So there's really not much to it. So hopefully I didn't go too all over the place. This is like my first overview kind of video I've ever made on YouTube. A little bit nervous about that, but I did want to share this because, like I said, I've never found anybody who uses bias effects with the iRig Blueboard, the desktop version of bias effects and not the iPad version. Again, I had to come here, go to audio settings, I clicked on my iRig Blueboard and it picked it up. That's how I initially did it. Then I went to MIDI settings, enabled, and I have everything on channel 1. Now this is where it gets a little crazy. I didn't have to do any of this stuff on my iPad because these options are there too. You can make it so that you can switch presets, but I don't want to have it so that this is the next preset, this is the prior preset, because then I might just, that's a lot of tapping. I just want to be able to hard press, switch banks, and then that's the first in the bank, second, third, and fourth, like it is on iPad. Just a lot more straightforward. And it doesn't seem to be that way here. It could be the program's just too advanced for me, and I'm just not smart enough yet. I've been playing guitar for on and off over a quarter of a century, and 99% of that playtime has been on acoustic guitar. So I'm just starting to really dip into the electronic parts of it, and I'm starting to see why I waited so long, because it's not always straightforward. So again, because I'm on bank 2, if I tap on the screen, you can see the Blueboard. It brought me back to Paul Wardingham, even though I had forced it to switch back to mine, because it's memorized. It's on bank 2. This iRig Blueboard takes over. So that's why if I change patches, say I go to whatever, U2, Edge Standard, but because I'm not on the proper patch, when I tap, it'll go back to Paul Wardingham and switch between the two that I've set between A and B, because it's set that way. I want to go back to mine. I have to manually click the iRig Blueboard app, which I find a little redundant. But again, I'm not well versed at this. That's why this video is not a tutorial video. It's just a quick overview. Like I said, I bought this. I didn't steal it. I bought the program. You know, it's legit. Some people might be like, oh, I don't know about that. And I'm like, well, here it is, app information, professional. And I can actually go to the cloud, because I know some people are smartasses and they're like, oh, how do I know you have the real one? You wouldn't be able to do this if you had the pirated copy. So, as you can see, I'm on the tone cloud there. So anyways, I'm going to wrap that up. Like I said, this was an overview of my first experience with these two products working together. Maybe there's some people that are more knowledgeable than I am with these two programs, because at the end of the day, this is a MIDI foot controller. And to be honest with you, I didn't really know that that's the technical term for this. I was just looking at this as a Bluetooth pedal, and that was it. But it's actually MIDI control. And then you can set things through CC and all these weird numbers like what's here. And I just don't know how to do that. So like I said, it's I wish it was a lot easier without having to use both apps, like changing the bank on here and then changing the bank on there. But after several hours of messing around with both, I haven't been able to get it to work the way I want it to work, like it does with the iPad. But at the end of the day, it does work. So if I'm switching between banks and I'm playing, so it takes a couple of seconds, and I got a mouse click on my iRig Blueboard app. Not really the end of the world, but I was hoping it'd be a little bit more streamlined and whatnot. So if anybody can chime in, that would be great. All right, thanks guys. That's it for now.